All right, let's get into it. Game of Spades, and this is one I don't hear anyone talking about, so I'm glad to bring this information to you guys since you trust my nose so much. Strap up. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I'm your host for the evening. Yeah, evening, late night. Game of Spades, Jackpot Parfum. Now, what are we dealing with here? We are dealing with a unisex fragrance. Interesting looking bottle. This is going after Mancera's Instant Crush, which has a scent profile of amber, musk, vanilla, bergamot, citrus. Is it really, though? I'm kind of double checking here to make sure. You can't trust Google sometimes. Man, there are no reviews of it. It says here it reminds people of Herba Gold. No, Instant Crush is on this list. Okay, well, I mean, I'll tell you. I'll tell you if it's close. I have both. Okay, again, unisex fragrance has a rating on Fragrantica 4.5 out of 5, only 20 votes, so take that with a super grain of salt. I do have real estate left on this arm, and honestly, the fragrances haven't been that rich to where I feel like, I did wash my arms, so tried to eliminate whatever's left from before. I'm going to do 3 sprays just to be sure. 6 total. And what do I smell in the air? We'll let the arm dry a little bit. I went a little bit crazy. Yeah, okay. So it's instant crushy, but it's definitely a twist. I love Instant Crush, and I love Arabian's Tonka. I feel like Arabian's Tonka from Montal is a little bit spicier. Instant Crush is a little bit more youthful, sparkling, playful. Yeah, this is like there's something to be said about Instant Crush because let me just look real quick. I could have swore Instant Crush has a saffronic backdrop, if I'm not mistaken, to create that spice. Yeah, it's got ginger and saffron. So there's this really like sparklingness, effervescentness about actual Instant Crush. And again, this line creates flat inspirations, in my opinion. Flat meaning like no texture. It's not like grassy, leafy, airy just because it's light, but no like spritz, no textural flex on the fragrance to ramp up that next level of like luxury experience. So it definitely smells like, because the saffron is not in Jackpot, I can totally see why people call it Herba Gold, because it feels like an eau de toilette version of Herba Gold. I'm actually like very much, what was I going to say? I love Herba Gold. I have it. I love it more than Herba Pura or Herba Pura, how people like to overly stress it online. This is definitely, whoever said Instant Crush is completely, if this had saffron and ginger or either of the two, it would push that direction. But I, from my nose, without a lot of research, am calling this an Herba Gold inspiration. So hopefully that falls in line with that, because it's very close to Herba Gold, but it's about half the weight. It's robust. I mean, it's how Eros is a, you can wear Eros eau de toilette and it still lasts 10 plus hours because of the weight of that kind of apple vanillic lavenderish experience. It still lasts even in the lower concentration. This feels like it has an Eros level of robustness, Eros EDT, so it could still last even though it feels half the size. On skin, it does ring off, like not for nothing. Again, we're dealing with like very simple scents, and I feel like Herba Gold from Xerjoff is like, compared to like most of their line, it is one of the most simpler fragrances of their entire lineup, in my opinion. Like, it's so straightforward in its scent profile, but it just smells so good. And it has this like rich depth, musky backbone that is just that extra little oomph to make a simple profile feel expensive. It's not the most expensive feeling fragrance, but it just takes that generic mango-ish style profile and just lifts it. Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, dude, this has some jump on it because Herba Gold isn't the most projective, but it has like a crazy lingering ninja-like sillage that even I go agnostic to, but it has some crazy growl. This is nice. This is probably the best so far. Jackpot. Yeah, you got to put these on skin. They do different stuff on skin. Yeah, this smells just like Herba Gold. I'm not going to hold you. I have Herba Gold right there. I'm not even going to test it because I wear Herba Gold like, at least, once every week. Nah, it's not. That's a lie. I do something where like every month there might be a week or two where I'll rock it like 2 times back to back every other week type of thing. It's very close to Herba Gold. Yeah. Yeah. And because Herba Gold is such a simple composition, like this actually, the flatness of the fragrance is in line with how the fragrance actually feels as well. Like I would say this is at least 90% Herba Gold. And it's not, the 10% that it's lacking isn't because it smells different. Like it smells just like it. It's just like half the weight, but it still pops off skin. Like the difference between Eros, OG Blue Eros Parfum versus Eros EDT. They both last a long time, but they feel different, right? This just feels like an EDT of Herba Gold, but it's super valid. Like, oh my God. Like, okay. This is one I can vouch for. I'm not going to hold you. Like, if you ever, I always think if you're a man, you should get Herba Gold. If you're a woman, you should get Herba Pura because they just feel gender swayed in that regard. Wear anything you want, but sway them like that. Or if you've ever been interested in God of Fire or Wilhelm Mango Skin, and I always say get Herba Gold, you can now get Game of Spades Jackpot. I can actually rock with this. It's very juvenile, but it's a very smooth blend. It has a great projection compared to the other fragrances, and the accuracy is scary. Like, if it was a little bit heavier, it would be 100%, but it's just a little bit airier, a little bit less musky, but it's still quite musky. I really like this. Let's wrap up with some final thoughts here. Well, I guess I'll show you what the notes are. Citrus, bergamot, fruity notes, sweet candy notes, vanilla, amber, and musk. Now, let's wrap up. Alternatives to this? I mean, there's a lot of mango skin, God of Fire, Herba Gold clones out there in the $30, $40 price point. Let me get in my clone bag real quick. It's been a while since I've kind of dug in the crates. I think you have Vulcan Fouet. You have, what is it? Mango Ice or something from freaking French Avenue. French Avenue has like a mango ice or something like that. You'll know it. It's like super orange. That one is pretty good. There's like 3 or 4 legit Herba Gold, mango skin, God of Fire style fragrances. But this one's solid. Like, I think it's dead perfect. Just an eau de toilette, like Eros Blue EDT level of power, though. So when I say eau de toilette, don't think this is weak. It's got a great projection and a good lingering sillage here. It's got like at least 2 feet on it, especially if you cake the sprays on, which I'm going north of 10. I go up there with Herba Gold as well. Like, I'm outside, I'm wringing off skin. You gonna smell me, right? But this is good, guys. To me, Herba Gold is like a 9. Like, actual OG Herba Gold is a 9. It's a low 9, but it's a 9 nonetheless to me. So I'm giving this an 8. You'd think because I like it so much that I'd push it to a 9, but it's a very juvenile smell. It's flatter. It's obviously flatter than Herba Gold, but it will exactly remind you of Herba Gold. And it actually doesn't feel too much like a clone because Herba Gold feels like such a teeny bop scent anyway. Only if you've smelled the OG would you know the texture difference between the two. Otherwise, you'd swear they were the same fragrance. So for that regard, it doesn't have like a cheap syntheticness that's out of the wheelhouse of what Herba Gold actually smells like. So I think it's easily like 90%. I would actually call this closer to 95, but I think the difference in texture, you know, the parfum to eau de toilette comparison knocks it down between 5 and 10%. But anyone who likes Herba Gold or Gotta Fire or any of that would absolutely love this as a valid option and really not know the difference between the two, except me. But this retails at $220. I'm sure you can get it below $100. I've seen it as low as $60 for 100 ml, depending on where you shop. So definitely get out there if you're interested in it. Would I pay $60 at a certain stage of life for this? Absolutely. Would I pay $100? No, because now I can just go buy Herba Gold. With that being said, I give it an 8 out of 10. I think it's perfectly unisex, but I've always felt Herba Gold was something that men could feel more confident wearing than Herba Pura, but it is perfectly unisex. Seasons and occasions. It's a playful spring, summer, but it can go 4 seasons, but, you know, it's really more of an occasion-based fragrance or like, you know, poolside hotel, fun, fancy type of stuff. Age range, I do think Jackpot is an ageless fragrance. Sprays, I'm going... If I'm indoors, 6. If I'm outdoors, 10 plus. Price point, we already went over that. Alternatives, we already went over that. Score, I already gave it an 8 out of 10. Again, this was Game of Spades Jackpot. And solid 8 out of 10. And I would actually buy this if I didn't own Herba Gold. I think it's a super valid option. It's one of the best ones I've smelled so far in terms of quality and, you know, how it pops, how it lifts off skin and how it feels as a fragrance. Definitely make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. More importantly, turn on that notification bell. Talk to me. I do talk back. Check out the Discord below if you want a deeper and richer experience with more exclusive content and get more of my close-knit family that lives in the Discord. We're capping it off at 100. And let me know, have you guys smelled Jackpot yet? I think it's the best so far. And out of what? Win, All In, and Black Sapphire? I'm going with Jackpot so far. But anyways... Hope you guys have a blessed rest of your week, and until next time.